Welcome back to my channel. My name is Kamanzi Constable, and today I'm going to be unboxing something that has me incredibly excited. But before we do that, coffee. If you're going to follow along on my channel, you should know I am a coffee lover. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Kamanzi Constable. Here we talk about business, life, travel, and trending topics. I'm very glad you're here. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification so that you can get all of the notifications when I drop new content. My goal is to give you practical content that will help you build every part of your life and business. Today, I'm going to be unboxing the brand new 16-inch M1 Pro MacBook. Now, I have the M1 13-inch MacBook. I got it when it first came out. It's a beautiful machine. In fact, I have it right here in my book bag because it's very portable. It's very portable, and this machine right here has been incredibly useful. I got it when it first came out, the M1. I have had it, I think it's been out like a little over a year, over half, and it has never, the fans have never come on, not one single time. No matter what I've done, the fans have not come on. It hasn't crashed. It's incredibly fast. The battery life, I don't have to charge it for 2 whole days. It's a great machine. Now, when these came out, the M1 Pro and the M1 Max, the new MacBooks in 14 or 16 inch, did I technically need it? Probably not. I laugh because Cindy says that I'm a fanboy and I get all the Apple devices as soon as they come out. But I wanted a bigger screen. I wanted the 16-inch way back in 2019 with the i9, but the Intel-based MacBooks were just not built well, in my opinion. They always got hot, they always crashed, and so I didn't think there was any point in spending $4,000 or $5,000 for a 16-inch i9 Intel-based MacBook if it was not going to give me what I needed, so I held off. So when these came out, I knew that I wanted the bigger screen. I also knew that I wanted some of the other features that this thing had. So today, I'm going to be unboxing the M1 Pro MacBook. This version right here is the 10-core, 16 GPU, 16 SSD, and 1 terabyte of memory. And so what I'm going to be doing is unboxing it, showing you what it looks like, but also I'm going to be talking about it from a non-techie perspective. I'm not a tech reviewer. Tech is not my thing. As far as getting really technical, I'm not going to talk about the GPU speed, and I'm not going to talk about rendering 8K video in DaVinci Resolve or anything like that. That's not who I am. I'm not a graphic designer. I'm not a web developer, I'm not a video editor, and in fact for these YouTube videos, we send these videos off to an editor and somebody else actually edits the videos for my channel and for our Globalpreneur Live channel. So we don't actually even do the editing for these videos. So I wouldn't use this machine for that. What I would be using this machine for is pretty much everyday use, surfing the web, a lot of writing. That's what I do. I'm a writer, so I spend a lot of time on this thing writing. We are digital nomads. We travel the world. I'm filming this from an Airbnb in Puerto Rico. So the ability to take this thing all over the world and use it all over the world, which includes things like watching Netflix, right? Watching Hulu. It includes everyday use things. And then a lot of Zoom calls. So it's not going to be heavy like graphics work or editing or anything like that. This is just everyday use. So when I talk to you about this, that's what I'm going to talk to you about, the perspective of the everyday person, and maybe why you might or might not want to consider upgrading to this thing. So without further ado, let's get into it. I like how Apple makes this very convenient to open now. Let me get the camera angle a little bit down so you can actually see this here. Let's unbox unbox this thing. So here she is, right here. She's beautiful. She's heavy. Whoa, is she heavy. So what does this come with? It comes with all of the auxiliary information about your MacBook Pro. One thing I've seen other like tech reviewers point out is that it has 2 stickers. These are the Pro stickers, so they're the black stickers. Definitely gonna put those on. I don't know what we're gonna put those on. Maybe like something else. Definitely gonna put those on something else. All right, the brick. So this is a 140 watt charger, meaning this can charge your MacBook from dead to full, not full, 30% charge, 50% charge in 30 minutes. So dead to 50% charge in 30 minutes with this brick. Ooh, it's got like little, it's like little paper. But look at this thing. This thing is a monster. Holy smokes, look at this thing. This thing is a monster. That's a charger for you folks. And then comes with MagSafe. MagSafe is back. Ooh, the cable's braided. Let me see if I can get that in there for you, so you can see the braided cable. All right, got that out. Look, what I want you to see, I don't know if you can quite see that on camera, is that this is braided and this is MagSafe, which we've been itching to get MagSafe back in a MacBook, so that's pretty exciting to have it back. Now, the actual machine. So, let's put this junk down here. The actual machine. Ooh, that bad boy is heavy. I'm gonna have to carry this thing in my laptop bag. Yeah, so initial impressions is I'm coming from a 13-inch. This is heavy. This is really heavy, comparatively. But let me show you what I like here. The ports. So we got MagSafe, we got 2 USB-Cs, we got a head jack adapter, we have a USB adapter, USB-C, and we have, of course, an SD card reader. So when I'm done recording this video, I could put it right in the SD card reader, which is exciting, but it's beautiful. You see here on the back, it says MacBook Pro. The rounded edges. This definitely is a pro machine. So Apple in recent years has tried to get the thinnest possible laptop that they can get, and they've accomplished that. All the laptops, the M1s, the first generation of M1s, were very thin laptops. This is not a thin laptop. This is a pro laptop. So if you are somebody like us who travels all the time and you have to put this thing in a backpack, that's something that you're gonna wanna keep in mind, is this is going to take up some space and a weight once you put it in the backpack. So that's definitely something to keep in mind if you're going to get this. So open it up. Let's just see here. Ooh, look at that, it already turns on. Take out the screen. Oh, this thing is really beautiful. Yeah, it's huge. Cindy's in the background over here saying that this thing is huge. Like I'm gonna have her hold this. Like hold this thing. Yeah. This, now imagine putting this in your backpack and you're traveling. This is going to be interesting, putting this in the backpack and traveling. Compared to this.
Like it sits inside yours.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So let me get the camera and let me show you. Actually show you what this looks like. Look at this. This is the M1. This is the first generation M1, and this is the new.
To use English as the main language,
M1 Pro.
press the return key.
It's already talking to me. Look, it fits within there, and as far as how much it weighs, like it's not even close how much it weighs.
It's like an old school Dell.
Yeah.
It's so big and bulky. Looks like my mom's computer she's had forever.
It's big and bulky. So what I like here is that the keyboard is all black.
Drücke die Eingabetaste, um Deutsch als Standardsprache
it's a
zu
great
wählen.
typing experience.
To use English as the main language, press the return key.
We have the fingerprint reader right here, and we have the bigger screen. So I'm gonna go through all the initial setup and then I'll be right back. So the Mac is currently going through all of the setup process, adding, transferring all my information from iCloud and doing all the things that it does. Bless you. Doing all the things that it does. And I have to say the first initial typing experience is really good. I really like how the keys feel. They go all the way down. It feels like you're actually typing, which is great for me as a writer. So I'm going to come back and I'll do another review after I've been using this thing for like a month. Maybe not a month, like maybe a couple weeks. I'll do a review and I'll let you know what I think of it, how is it in real life everyday use, if there's been any bugs or crashes. I'll talk about that notch, which you may have seen, and how my experience is with that. But overall, I'm very pleased. I'm excited to use it. It feels good so far. I'm liking everything that I'm seeing with this, and I think it's going to be a great experience. But I'll let you know. And as far as the cost, so these new MacBooks are not cheap. So they have two versions, an M1 Pro and an M1 Max. Now, if you're not a web developer, app designer, a graphic designer, you really should not be considering the M1 Max. I'm an Apple fanboy. My wife will tell you I'm an Apple fanboy, and I did not even consider the M1 Max because it's too much machine. There's no way I would use everything that machine is capable of doing. That's a very power intensive, graphics intensive, so that's when you're doing like a lot of heavy work. That's when you want to consider that. Now, the only question I had about the M1 Pro was, did I want 16 gigabytes of RAM or 32 gigabytes of RAM? And ultimately, I decided to go for 16 gigabytes of RAM versus 32. Not necessarily the cost. There's a $400 difference in those machines, but because I had a 16 gigabyte M1, original M1 before, and it was more than enough for what I needed. It did everything that I needed it to do, and it was great. I didn't need the extra power, and the SSD, so the RAM in these is a lot faster than the first M1. So I thought if it was good before and they made it faster, there's really no point in having to upgrade. Now, the only other consideration I would have had for upgrading is if I wanted to future-proof this machine. Like if I knew that I was going to hold on to this thing for like 5 years and I want to make sure it have everything that I need, I could have got 32 gigabytes of RAM, but I'm very confident that 16 is probably going to be more than enough for what I do every day, and it was more than enough. So it's tempting to go out to get the latest and greatest. I mean, if you spec this thing out, you spec this 16 gigabyte out, it could this M1 Pro or M1 Max, these things can get up to $6,000. So these could be very expensive machines for you. Whereas the base model, even the 512 base model with 8 cores and 10 cores, and those base models, those are probably going to be more than enough for other people. I just got one and more memory, so I got 1 terabyte just in case, to store files and not have to store it on some sort of external device. I kind of wanted it all in one, but that's something to consideration. But I mean, unless you're like really doing heavy work, I think these base models, the first two base models is enough for people. The question just becomes, what are you going to use it for? What's your budget look like? And does this make sense for you? For me, it did. And I don't often like to think of things in terms of, ooh, I'm going to spend, $3,000 on this or $2,000 on that. I think of, okay, if that's what I'm going to spend, how many sales, how much revenue do I have to bring in the business to be able to afford that? I much rather think about it that way, because then I got a goal. Okay, this is going to cost this to get this. I'm going to go out and I'm going to make it happen. And I think as an entrepreneur, that's kind of a better way to think about things. But here it is, the 16-inch, 1 terabyte, 16 gigabytes of RAM, 16 GPU, the M1 Pro, unboxed. I will use it. I will come back to you. I will let you know how it holds up in real world use. If you're not subscribed here, definitely subscribe. And sign up for notifications so that you can get new videos when I drop. I post about travel, I post about living a freedom-based lifestyle, I post about business, I post about writing. So if that's something that feels good to you and you're vibing with, definitely subscribe to my channel. But I will be back with my full non-techie review of this M1 Pro MacBook.